This time on iRate Garage, I'm doing a basic oil change and fuel filters on this 2001 Ford F-350 with the 7.3 Power Stroke. So clearly we're changing oil. So what do we need? Oil filter and of course oil. Simple stuff, I know, but I'm sure somebody didn't. Don't be judgy. Now, when it comes to these Fords, the Power Strokes, I always run a motorcraft filter. It's just what I do. If you want to run something else, be my guest. It's just what I do. To each his own. Hey, if we were all the same, it'd be really boring. And of course, Rotella T6. I've always run Rotella. You can do whatever you want. You can run Dello or Amsoil if you got money. Whatever you want to do. You don't have to run synthetic. It's just what I do. Some guys will say these old 7.3s don't like synthetic. I haven't found that to be the case in the ones that I've run it in. It's just one of those things. Keep in the back of your mind, if you change the oil and it runs like trash, then you know you screwed up. So, about to head under the truck. What do you need? Well, of course, you need a drain pan. You need a 3/4 inch wrench, I think. If not, I'll cut this and put it what it actually is. I think it's a 3/4 inch, whatever the metric is. And then a filter wrench. I like these channel lock style. It's the only thing I found that actually gets one off if it doesn't want to come off. So hey, you gotta stick with what works. So kick the pan under the truck and then head under the truck myself. Boo! Yeah! There we go. Oh, the grill box. Hang on. Oh fuck, I'm sorry. Well, now that we're all under the truck, get up here, and wouldn't you know it, it is indeed a 3/4. That makes me happy, because I'm already down here, and I already said it was 3/4. Probably helps if you loosen it. There we go. That's going to come out like a mofo, because there's a lot of oil in there. It ran for a minute. And it's just barely warm. I like to push up on the plug ever so slightly, and you'll know, you can feel it when it lets go. There we go. That really helps mitigate the mess. Shake that off. Look at the plug. Make sure there ain't a bunch of crap stuck to it. Yes, I just checked to make sure it was magnetic, because I couldn't remember. I'll set that off to the side. Well, that's draining. I'm going to go ahead and work on the oil filter. Now, I've heard some guys talk about poking a hole in the bottom, this and that and the other. I don't bother with that, but if you do it, make sure the oil filter will come off first. Let's be somewhat smart here. You'd be surprised how often these things get stuck. So I just get to make sure that pan's in a good spot, and open that up. Let her drain out. Some guys like to poke a hole in them to drain the oil out. I don't know. I have done it. I don't usually do it though. Never truly feels, super necessary for me. And it starts to slow down, you open it up a little more. A little more comes out. Now this is heavy. There's 2 quarts of oil in this thing. So it is going to be heavy. Again, I like to put a little upward force on it as I'm screwing it off. Kind of mitigates the mess. Then I pour it out. Get hung up on the sway bar. Because why wouldn't you? There we go. We're going to put this somewhere that's not in my way. Alright. I got the oil filter all pre-filled. Throw a rag over the top of it to keep from getting the crap in the filter. Bringing it over here. Make sure there's oil on that O-ring. Finagle your way over here. And get her up on there. Can you even see? Probably not. That's okay. This video is probably just for practice anyway. So we get her on there, we get her started. Yeah, if you got rubber gloves on, this can be tricky because everything gets super slick. The paint that's on these filters is really slippery. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna dry it off. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Nice and tight if you can. Tighter the better. Well, not really, but the tightest you can, hand tightened. And then after I start the truck, I'll come back under here and try it again with bare hands. And oddly enough, for whatever reason, sometimes when you come back and you start the truck up, I swear these things loosen up and you can get a little bit more out of them. So, all right. Make sure there's no crud on that. Get that little washer back where it's supposed to be. Feel them threads as you screw it in. Make sure they aren't too chowdered. This one's a little rough, but not too bad. Get on there. Snug it up. Not super tight, but tight enough. Let's see, we got a little oil coming down here. All right, we'll tighten that up again after we run it. Now, I'm just going to take this pan and push it up, because I'm going to drain the water separator and hopefully that catches it. If not, that's what floor dry is for. So, now we're on the top side, we're ready to fill. Now, if you want to save a little money, you can buy the oil in these bigger jugs or 5-gallon buckets. For whatever reason, in my area, it seems like these are cheaper. But it can be kind of a pain in the ass to pour the oil into a funnel above the engine because of the weight. I mean, you're talking 2.5 gallons in these bigger jugs. So you want to get yourself one of these. All right, the cap out of the way. You get about a gallon in one of these. It's marked on the side. It actually looks like you can get 5 quarts in it. My bad. So get the cap loosened just a little bit, just so it can suck some air through. Stab it in the hole, and away we go. No fuss, no muss. Throw the cap back on and clean up whatever mess we made. Check the oil. Yeah, looks like it's, whoops, looks like it's right in the middle. Yep, right in the middle. I'm gonna start it. I bet I'll have to add just a smidge to it. So it's typical stuff. You start it, you watch for oil pressure, you come back, and you check it. There really is nothing special about doing the oil on a power stroke. The only real challenge is simply the volume of oil that you're dealing with. Okay, so that's a little low. What does that say? Head mark notes, 2 quarts low. I want to add a quart to it, just for shysters and gigales. And if you know what YouTube channel I stole shysters and gigales from, we can be friends. And I'm making a massive mess because I'm impatient and kind of a slob. As long as I don't get any on the belt or hoses, I don't care, really. Loosen that up, there we go. So now, I like to come up and drain my water separator. You probably can't see it, but there's a little yellow tab here, and you just turn it towards the cab. And you hear it go boop, 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 boop. That's probably sufficient. Usually just till it hits the pan. That's all I do. If you do that on the regular, that's all you really need to do. At least in my experience. If you got worse fuel, it's different for you. All right. So, first thing to do on a fuel filter change is take this beauty cover off. Yeah, get this damn cover off. Love these covers, are my favorite. Make sure you file that in a safe location. So this is it's an aftermarket filter right here on this truck. From the factory they had something that looked like that. This is a cap out of my pile that I cleaned the inside out of, and I'm going to use it because I have an actual Ford filter for this truck. So we're going to use it. So I got a 1-inch socket here. It feels a little loose on this Wix, I think it is. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of aftermarket filters. I've seen them where the little hex breaks. Certainly the aftermarket caps do. Here, suck air a little bit. Because I drained the water separator. And it all comes out. So, you take your round O-ring, dip it in the fuel. You take it and you throw it around the bottom part of the fuel filter. Take care not to stretch it too much or roll it. And then this guy just kind of goes nice and easy. Don't force it, don't shove it in there. You'll displace all the fuel that's in there. You'll push it out. And then you'll have to deal with that. This guy also needs fuel on it. God, I'm dumb. Get fuel on that one too. That's just a plastic standpipe in there. Don't go forcing on it too hard. Now, if you look on your O-ring, you ain't gonna be able to see it here, but if you look on your O-ring, even on the directions, it'll show you that it's like a triangle, okay? And you want kind of the blunt beveled part of the triangle facing out, and you want it, the taller bit on the inside. All right. These filters, these O-rings can be a bit finicky. All right. Again, make sure you're getting that O-ring in there right. It kind of sits however, and then it'll flatten out as you tighten the whirl down on it. You want to get yourself one of these filter tools. It just kind of sits right there in the works. It makes it so it's easier possible for you to get in here and tighten that up. Extension. Be mindful, you shouldn't have to force this on there. It should just screw in. It's just a tight fit on those threads. And snug, not monkey tight, snug. Everything here's plastic, so let's not get too crazy. And this time I will use a microfiber towel to dry everything off, so I'm not spraying shit in here. And it makes it easier to tell if there's leakage. Hopefully there isn't. Now I'll cycle the key a couple of times and then start the truck. You want to get the air out of there if there is any. Come up here with everything on and without the truck started yet, and you'll hear everything working and moving and doing its job. You can actually hear the air forcing its way out of the system. That looks good. I'm going to do it again. Yeah, it all sounds good. All sounds good. Also looks like something has been making itself a home on top of my engine. That's always good for it. You know, these trucks like it when mice are in here and they're chewing on shit. All right, I think I'm gonna start it. There we go. It all looks good. One last check just to make sure. If you have a leak, check and make sure that O-ring is in there correctly. It's easy for them to be turned around, for you to put on backwards and not even know it. So make sure that is correct. Look underneath the truck for leaks, typical stuff. Yeah, I don't drag that out from under the truck, it just makes a mess. So I'll just back out, leaving that on the ground underneath, and it seems to work just fine. Well, there you go, one happy truck. It's in run. Well, I put this stuff away here, I'll keep an eye on it. After that, we're done. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube jargon. See you later.